January 12th, a big announcement and important details. That's exactly what we're going to talk about right here in the video, so let's get right into it. Alright, January 12th is a big and important day with a highly anticipated announcement. A lot of people are going to be watching very closely, and of course, we will need to watch this one very closely as well, as it's going to be very impactful for virtually everybody, especially the low income and of course fixed income beneficiaries that we talk about here on the channel so often, including Social Security retirement, disability, SSDI, survivors, SSI, VA, RRB, low income, no income, seniors, older adults, and of course, people with disabilities. With that being said, I want to jump into and talk about the big announcement being released on January 12th and what all of this means for everybody I just mentioned just a few seconds ago. Let's get right into it. However, really fast before we do, thank you so much for joining me. If you're new here or if you haven't done so yet, please make sure to subscribe by hitting the button right down below the video, as it's totally free to do so, and because I am your one and only daily advocate, I'm here for you right by your side each and every day, watching all this new information hitting the wire, doing all the necessary research, and breaking it all down into these short videos so you can stay updated with what is actually going on, and most importantly, how it's going to impact you, your money, your benefits, your lifestyle, your bank account, and of course, anything out there right now you can possibly grab and or take advantage of, including money, benefits, raises to benefits, checks, programs, stimulus, or anything else like that. Of course, I want to bring it to your attention right away, as we completely understand money is very tight right now for virtually everybody, and we all need a lot more of it, or any type of assistance we can possibly get. So again, thanks so much for joining me. Please remember, I'm here for you in any way that I possibly can be. I truly want to help you out, and I want to keep you updated with all this stuff going on, as things continue to change very, very fast. So again, please subscribe down below if you haven't done so yet, and I'll be here for you every single day. That's my dedication, that's my commitment, and as always, I'm sticking to it. All right, thanks again. Let's jump into it and talk about January 12th and what is going on. All right, so the morning of January 12th, there's going to be a pretty big announcement. Now, this announcement comes out once per month, and as of recently, it's been a very, very highly anticipated announcement because we need to know what's going on, and it gives us a glimpse into what is going on for the prior month. Now, here's the thing. Up until about a year and a half ago or so, this report that comes out was not all that impactful, right? We would watch and feel like, it's not that big of a deal, a lot of things like this. Well, as of the last year and a half or so, actually coming up on 2 years now, this has become a very highly anticipated report, possibly one of the most important reports that is released each and every month, and that is the inflation report, CPI, Consumer Price Index. It is released once per month, and that is what we're going to be getting the morning of January 12th. Now, this is going to be in relation to the inflation numbers for the month of December 2022. So we'll have to pay attention to this to see what happened in December 2022. Did inflation continue to rise like what we've been seeing? Did it finally plateau? Is it finally going down? But more importantly, we need to look at all the numbers within the report. Now, here's the thing. We've been talking about this for many, many months now. I've been digging into the inflation reports, right? So as we get these inflation reports that come out, usually the headline number is a little bit lower, and then they all come together and they say, look, inflation has gone down. We're doing a great job here, right? Well, then I always come back and say, no, the inflation numbers are actually not really going down. If you look at real inflation of the real things that real consumers buy on a regular basis, like food and shelter and healthcare, and the things that directly impact the low income and fixed income, inflation is still going up. Prices are still rising. Over the last several months here, we've seen inflation still going up on these items, anywhere between about 1.3 to about 0.7%, still going up on a month-over-month basis, okay? That's very high. That's still very, very aggressive inflation. Even though inflation and prices on some things have been coming down to make it look like overall inflation is coming down. Not really, okay? We all understand this. Let me ask you this much really quickly. Let's just rewind, say, 2 months ago. 2 months ago, when you went out to the store, again, for anything, you could have gone out grocery shopping, you could have gone out for anything. It literally doesn't matter. Let me ask you this much. 2 months ago compared to today, are you paying higher prices, lower prices, or the same prices? I'm going to go ahead and guess right now, some items are probably more expensive, some items are probably the same, and a teeny tiny percentage of items maybe have gone down if you're finding it on clearance or on sale, right? I would say the vast majority of you here in the community, I'm probably going to see down in the comments section, are going to say prices have either stayed the same on some items, or I think I'm going to be anticipating a lot of comments coming in saying prices are higher. prices are higher because this is what we're really experiencing. So then let me ask you, is inflation really going down then? I think all of us can probably agree. No, it's not, right? We all know this, right? It is not going down. It is still going up as we dig under the hood. Well, that's what we need to look at here with this inflation report that will be coming out on January 12th. This is going to be very, very important because here's what we know about this. The inflation report, not only is it important because it gives us some information as to what inflation was doing the prior month, but it's also going to give us some leading indication as to what the Federal Reserve is going to do moving forward with their interest rate policy. Now remember, the Federal Reserve for pretty much the entire second half or so of 2022 aggressively was raising interest rates, right? 75 basis point rate hikes, quite a few of them. There's a lot of stuff going on with the Federal Reserve, and they've made it very clear that this inflation is not over. They've made it very clear that this inflation, is still very high, and they've also indicated that their work is not done on getting ahead of this inflation, okay? That's why we got to watch this because if this inflation report still comes in very hot, this simply means that the Federal Reserve is likely going to continue with their aggressive interest rate policy. And as a result of that, we know it's going to contract the economy even further. More jobs will be lost. And as a result of that, the economy will continue to contract. Now, here's another thing that I want to point out as well. A lot of big people out there, as in hedge fund managers, we've got big bank CEOs, a lot of really high profile people out there are saying it is inevitable. 2023 will be bringing a big, deep recession. Now again, is this good or bad? Well, it just is, okay? It's all relative. I can't be here to say a big recession is really bad. I can't say it's really good either. You know what I mean? It's just all relative. It's going to be very impactful in a big way for a lot of people, but recessions, honestly, it's just a big reset. So rather than looking at it as a recession, we could look at it as a reset because that's literally what a recession is. It's a big reset, right? Like you're pushing the reset button on, I don't know. I'm trying to think of an example of a reset button. I don't even know what has a reset button, right? Whatever you can think of that has a reset button. That's basically what a recession is, right? It's just pushing the big reset button on the economy, on the United States, resetting, starting over. Now, here's one more thing that I want to point out as well. Even though inflation is still very elevated right now, in the event that we get into a very contractionary time, as in the inflation is still high or relatively high, it's still moderate. If the economy is contracting, I want to point this out. If the economy falls into a pretty deep recession, and it looks like we're going to be in one for quite a while, here's what happens. History would show us that all of the recessions over the last 22 or so years have all produced stimulus checks, every single one of them. We've talked about this previously in other videos. So, do you think this one's going to be different? Nope, it's going to be the same old thing, the same old song and dance every single time, right? It's the polka, whatever that is. I don't really know. You know what I mean? I was trying to be funny, but honestly, you know what I'm talking about. It's the same old song and dance, right? The same thing will be happening yet again with this economy, the Federal Reserve, the printing of money, the distribution of stimulus, all the things like that. The same things we've seen time and time again. We'll likely see it again, but it's all going to be predicated on the longevity of a recession, the longevity of a downturn, how deep this contraction gets, how deep the recession gets, all of the details about that. But again, one thing we'll need to watch here is the inflation report. And the inflation report is going to be giving us a further indication as to what the Federal Reserve will be doing with interest rate policy. And remember, the Federal Reserve has a huge grab on the economy, right? The Federal Reserve has a huge influence on what goes on with the economy because as they play around with interest rates, that has a big impact, right? So anyway, that's why you got to watch all this stuff closely. Anyway, this is the report that will be coming out the morning of January 12th. And of course, as I do get those details, I will bring that to your attention. By the way, January 12th is a Thursday. Just throwing that out there, okay? Anyway, as I do get those details, I'll bring it to you right here in these videos. I'll break it all down, let you know what's really going on with inflation and what we can anticipate going forward, as we got to watch all this stuff because we all understand that this inflation is not good. It's going to take a very long time to bring it down. And we all know that this inflation is really, really tough for the low income and fixed income. No surprise there. This has been the same thing that we've been hearing about and the same thing that we've been dealing with for a very long time, right? Well over a year and a half, right? Since mid-2021, we've been seeing this inflation well over where it really should be. Inflation should really be around 2 to 2.5%, maybe 3% in a hot economy. And right now, we're sitting well above that, okay? So anyway, Federal Reserve, they have a lot of work ahead of them. Anyway, I'm here for you in any way that I can be. I hope this video helps you out to better understand what's going on, and again, to stay informed with all the latest details. I'm here for you. Please subscribe down below if you haven't done so yet. Share the video with your friends, family, social media, and go back and check out any of the other thousands and thousands of videos here on the channel. Until next time, please have a nice day. Enjoy, stay warm out there, and I'll catch you again later.